Welcome back to Chow Time Pods. Your host, Red. I got a video today from Davocate.
One thing Cora and I have noticed is that women are getting a lot pickier, aren't they? I mean,
That
you
they
can't
are.
escape it. It's the bar is in hell here. It's men ain't shit here. We've got
Bare
ick lists. Have
minimum.
you seen the ick
Rawr.
lists? Men can't ride bikes. They can't order girly drinks. They can't swim funny. They can't bowl funny. Every day online, it seems, I am warned as a woman that some tiny, superficial, almost meaningless trait is actually a deadly quality in a man that I need to avoid at all costs. And I get having high standards. I get having strong boundaries. I think that people are allowed to have as high of standards for their own dating preferences as they want. I'm not telling you that you can't say that you need a 6 foot tall, well hung millionaire. I will say you might be culling your dating market herd expeditiously. I do fear that a lot of these new standards, requirements, or ick lists are just things that are causing us to destroy our own dating pool. There are definitely
I mean, women don't care in a sense because they only want the top tier men anyways, Davocate. I don't think they mind that they're culling away all of the creeps and predators. They only want the hottest, well hung, like you said.
very fair standards, like refusing to date a guy who doesn't have a job, or refusing to date a girl who can't drive. I can understand not wanting to date a guy if he's obsessed with sports, if you hate sports. I can understand not wanting to date a woman who is obsessed with going out partying if you're a total introvert. But how many good men are we throwing right in the garbage over arbitrary bullshit that we heard from women online?
Plenty. Plenty of good men. There's a lot of them out there. Just they don't get a chance anymore because they're average, right? We always say it. The average man doesn't mind being with the average woman. The average woman thinks the average man is below her, beneath her.
Let me give you just one example of this.
The biggest red flag that you should ever have in a man is if he likes anime.
Anime as the biggest red flag.
That was my first thought. The biggest.
Bro has so much manga. Holy.
I know that it's not
Oh, that's video games, I think. Xbox games. I thought it was. Oh, there's manga back here.
all women thinking as such because a lot of women are anime fans.
True.
We don't claim her.
It's just sad that a girl could find a guy that is perfect, that checks all the green boxes, but wouldn't give him the time of day because he loves anime. Because she considers that as the biggest red flag. Not him being a player, a cheater, a lying piece of shit, or him putting his hands on women in a violent way. Nah.
Anime.
He loves anime, that's a no-go, that's a red flag.
The creator who sent that to me is a guy named Greg Michaels. You should definitely go check him out. But really, we had the exact same reaction. Like, the biggest red flag, a guy's biggest red flag, you're saying, is if he likes anime. Some women out there, they truly have no sense of self-preservation whatsoever. To me,
I mean, quite unaware.
either I'm reading way too into this or I'm just good at pattern recognition, but she strikes me as the kind of person who learned very early on in life, probably because there was really no sense of urgency for her to do anything else, that being popular, being socially accepted is the number one most important thing above all else.
True.
Above ensuring that a man has emotional stability, can control his temper and attitude even during hard times, is friendly and humble and takes care of others. No, her number one priority is making sure that she is not seen with some weeb. Like, I'm sorry, but that's all it really comes down to, is that she was conditioned to believe that
I see it. I see what you're talking about. Yeah. Who wants to go out there with a nerd?
anybody who watches
lame.
anime is a nerd, an outcast, someone you just don't want to be seen with. She never grew out of that need to have these cliques and to attempt to be the queen bee of the cool girls. This is a person who established an us versus them at a very early age and is probably just never going to change. I can tell you this is certainly a person who has never actually gotten to know someone who likes anime. Or she's just universally recognized as such a judgmental person that the people in her life who do like anime would never talk to her about it. Because the only reason that anime used to be seen as nerdy or weird back in the day is because it wasn't widely circulated. It wasn't viral, it wasn't super popular, and so people just didn't really understand it.
I love anime. You guys know this. I mean, Shazam. Oops, let me change this over. Shazam, right? So, I mean, I don't think Godzilla is technically anime, but it fits in that similar genre that women would probably be upset about. But most men know exactly what over 3,000 means. That is probably one of the biggest lines that gets used nowadays. Everybody uses it, even women. But where did it come from? It came from DBZ. One of the best animes when I was growing up. You know, it's so crazy and cringy because anime is so awesome. Look at Infinity Castle. You know, Demon Slayer Infinity Castle. Top 5 movies of all time. And women still have the audacity to try to shame men into what they enjoy watching. It's like us trying to say, you know what, she watches reality TV show? Biggest red flag. And I can actually admit it is somewhat of a red flag because that means they really like drama. But all women love drama, and we don't really care what they like or whatever it is. It's more of their personality, how they treat others. But nope, flies over the window when it comes to anime.
Let's be honest, America was also really mad at Japan for a while. We know now that watching cartoons as adults is perfectly fine, and if we would have known it back then, we wouldn't have completely outcast those people. The only reason those people were outcast was because of people like the person who made this video, not because there's anything actually wrong with anime. Let's take a pretty well-known anime like Pokemon, for example.
Okay.
Talk about a show and a game that has united generations.
True.
People are already playing Pokemon with their kids. Where is the red flag there? You want to know something else funny? I bet you every gym crush she has ever had has Dragon Ball Z music on their playlist while they're lifting. Now, because of some cultural differences, I can see how some people see anime as maybe being like more perverted than typical American cartoons. Fan service
I mean, they do got big jugs in animes. I admit this.
is a thing, but getting on a high horse about it and pretending like American culture is so much more morally superior and above that is delusional. Like, come on, we can be gross too. But more importantly, there is so much more to anime than that. There is probably an anime for every single interest out there in the world.
Which
You
is
like to
crazy.
cook, there's an anime for that. You like farming, there's an anime for that. Fashion, anime. Like, really?
I mean, you like football? There's like Ice Shield 21. I don't like, it's literally about football and high school kids playing football.
Really think about this. You have decided that the most dangerous and harmful quality that a man could possibly exhibit is being interested in a form of animation that can take on so many various shapes, sizes, worlds, and imaginations.
Huh?
That was the worst thing you could ever think of. And you might be thinking, well, when you phrase it like that, it doesn't sound so bad. Guess what? Because it's never been bad. What I described is what anime has always been. It's just so short-sighted and reductionist to automatically assume that anyone who likes anime must be nerdy or antisocial or childish.
I know a lot of jocks in my days when I was in high school that also watched anime. I don't think anime is really made for nerds in a sense. Yeah, probably more nerdy people enjoy it more than, you know, sports people or, you know, athletes or whatever. But I'm sure there's plenty of major football stars, NBA stars now that love anime and watch anime.
Hayao Miyazaki's work, for example, is not only stunningly gorgeous with some of the most well-written characters you will ever see, but his work also
Agreed.
focuses on compassion, community, resilience, and how our place in nature will be remembered. The reason so many athletes love the story of Naruto, for example, is because it focuses a lot on the bonds between rivals and teammates, as well as things like forgiveness. One Piece is an amazing anime about pirates, which a lot of people
You know me, One Piece fan over here. Love One Piece since I was what? I want to say like 14 or so when One Piece first came out in the United States, and I've been watching One Piece ever since. This is probably the only thing I keep up with is watching One Piece. Every week One Piece still comes out on Sundays, or it's like Saturday evenings. I watch it on Sundays. You know, a quick 25 minutes of nostalgia and just pure fun entertainment. And what is it about? It's about friends. It's about doing things for friends, sacrificing for friends, and protecting friends.
treasure for all of their themes of loyalty, friendship, sacrifice. The art's cool, the storylines are great, but guess what? Anime is also good for the economy. Remember the Turkey-Syria earthquakes in 2023? Pokemon donated $5 million to restoration efforts. The creator of One Piece, Oda, also donated $8 million to relief efforts. Anime conventions have raised millions of dollars for hospitals and research as well. Yeah, I'm sorry, but my final response is that if you're gonna call a guy a red flag just for watching anime, that says way more about you than him. Saying it's the biggest red flag tells me that you care more about clout and image than you do about sincerity, honesty, character. Anime fans are engaging with stories that talk about friendship, perseverance, and creativity. You're obsessing about how your boyfriend's hobbies are gonna look on your Instagram story.
You know, I think about anime stories and storylines. They are just so much more well written and thought out than most American TV shows and most American anime or cartoons, I guess is what they're called here. You know, I've grew up with American cartoons on Saturday mornings and things like that. Yeah, they're fun here and there, but when you actually peel back the actual story, they were pretty trash stories. When you look at anime and you peel back, say, One Piece, it's like, oh my god. The depth of this anime is beyond comprehension sometimes.
Which one of those is the real red flag? And like I always say, you're allowed to have whatever kind of preferences that you want for dating. If she doesn't like anime, she doesn't get it, it's not her thing, and she'd rather date someone with more common interests, that's fine. But calling liking it the biggest red flag is the thing that I just can't get past. You definitely don't have to date anybody who likes anime. It's just that why are you painting them to other people as people who are dangerous? When we have men, like Greg said, actually laying hands on women, emotionally harming them, cheating on them, you'd rather get cheated on than know that your man watched an episode of Fairy Tale?
Pretty much.
Honey, I'm home. Oh my god! Oh, thank God. That's just another woman in our bed. I thought you were reading Inuyasha. Okay, time to go over our monthly bill. What is this? Oh, thank God. It's just a gambling addiction. I thought he was buying anime again. I'm just gonna check his drawers for something. Oh, God. Oh, thank God, it's just a crack pipe. I thought it was manga. Do you hear how crazy that sounds? And again, like, maybe this is a good thing. I'm glad that she is letting this all be known so that people who like anime and are good men can just avoid that situation. But I do want to pose the question, because I have my own theories. Do you think that there's a chance that her immediate judgment and dismissal of hobbies and interests that don't particularly align with her own are going to bleed negatively into other aspects of her dating life, even if they don't involve people who like anime? Because I myself definitely don't watch as much anime as my husband does, but if I were to hear someone making fun of someone else just for liking anime, I would think a lot less of that person. I just think she's a bully who likes to pick on nerds. And I don't think she realizes how much of the cool guys that she actually likes are secretly nerds. I think this take is going to come back and bite her hard. But what do you guys think? Do Do you think there's any truth to there being red flags behind people who really like anime?
I mean, if they're liking hentai and watching hentai in the corner all day, then yeah, there might be some issues. But if they're just watching, Naruto, One Piece, Solo Leveling, all the good new animes, like My Hero Academia. Oh my God, that's an amazing anime. The perseverance, the wanting to be a hero, the sacrifices, the wanting, to protect everybody and be a symbol of peace and justice. It's mind-boggling how good these anime, the animation, the story, the action sequence, the sadness. If you've watched plenty of anime and you've never cried in an anime or at least teared up, you're one stone cold motherfucker. Because there's plenty of animes, even action-based animes or fighting animes, that just literally will pull on your heartstrings because it's so relatable. Everything is so relatable. Yes, we're not shooting, power beams at each other, but we can relate to the struggles and the perseverance that a lot of people go through in anime.
How would you feel if one of your friends or someone you knew had this opinion? Have you ever had a potential partner say something like this to you? I want to know what you guys think about this one. It made me a little bit mad, but you tell me what you think.
Shout out to Advocate for defending us anime weebs. I wouldn't call myself an anime weeb, but I grew up with it so much. And as I got older, so I kind of grew out of it a little bit, but I still try to watch anime because it's still enjoyable. I may not watch One Piece every Sunday, but sometimes I'll let it pile up a couple episodes, 3, 4, 5 episodes, and kind of binge watch it when I have time. But I've never thought anything weird about people watching anime. Maybe it's because I watch anime, but don't take it as a shoot at you guys or a shot at you guys. It's just women that don't understand the greatness of anime. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. I really appreciate that. And I'll catch you guys next time. Ciao.